I broke no contact. I texted him
and I just want to say
I wanted him back.
It's interesting to me that she's already in the fetal position.
Loved him.
Just started this video already in the fetal position.
Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about breaking no contact isn't worth it.
It's not worth it.
So I know what it's like for you guys every day to doubt that no contact is working, to doubt that your ex is ever going to reach out, and you feel like you have to do something. We see it all the time in our coaching calls.
Mm-hmm. And we also hear a lot of regret that happens when you do reach out, not only for how you feel, but for your ex's response as well.
Most of the time, it makes your situation worse for a lot of different reasons. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, your ex is not afraid of losing you. And we want them to be afraid of losing you because they're making a decision and they're choosing a consequence, right? If they leave you, you want them to feel like they could lose you as well. We don't want your ex to think that they could break up with you and they could still have you. Mm-hmm. It's not going to help you reattract them. Time and time again, week after week, we talk with you guys. Many of you do more than one coaching with us. We say, stay in no contact, allow them to reach out. You break it, and then you're like, this is what happened. You're going to be so upset.
And I'll say many of you are in no contact for many different reasons. Now it's kind of a common term. And there's people that are in no contact because their ex is not good for them. So in that case, breaking no contact is definitely not worth it. You know, it could put you at risk, especially if it was a really toxic relationship or abusive relationship. And so when we talk about no contact, there's a reason behind it.
Mm-hmm. The most attractive thing you can do, the most confident thing that you can do after a breakup is to leave the dumper alone, allow them to miss you, and to come back when they are ready. In the meantime, you have to focus on personal growth. Don't focus on their Instagram or their Snapchat or their WhatsApp or their Facebook. That's not going to help you. In fact, it's probably going to trigger you and cause you to spiral. Focus on growing. Watch our Be a Master in Relationships playlist or Understanding Attachment Styles playlist and get to a great place. Mm-hmm. That way, when they reach out, you're going to be a lot more likely to reattract them.
Right. So we have an interesting video today of somebody who did break no contact.
And what do they say?
Say it's not worth it.
Not worth it.
It's not worth it. So let's hear what they got to say.
I broke no contact. And
I just want to say, it's interesting to me that she's already in the fetal position. just started this video, already in the fetal position. Tells me everything I need to know.
With a blanket on.
I texted him saying I wanted him back and that I loved him and I didn't understand why he did what he did. And the text that I got back was that he cared about me and this is hurting him, if not as much, but more than it's hurting me. And that we're on two different paths in our lives. And he has to figure out his own path and go for this job.
We hear that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When, somebody has certain goals, it could be a job, it could be moving to a different location, it could be a lot of different reasons. So we're seeing a little bit of that here.
Particularly with men, that they feel like they have to do this thing because men are so, their self-worth is so tied to their career or their success. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, there's so much pressure for men to be successful. And, you're constantly hearing in the dating world that guys that aren't making a certain amount of money or successful in whatever way, these women aren't interested in them. And women don't understand that pressure that guys have on them in that sense.
And sometimes, ironically, it's the pressure to provide that ends up putting pressure on that relationship.
It's true.
So sometimes that can happen too.
And he needs this time away from me. And essentially what I got from that was that he didn't love me. And our relationship wasn't worth fighting for. And at the end of the day, it did nothing for my healing process. Absolutely nothing. So for anyone out there that wants to message them, please let this be a warning. Don't do it. because healing doesn't come from them. It's got to come from you.
Well, the good news is that he could easily reach out to say he misses the cat. I think I saw
like 5 of them.
3 of them in the background there, jumping off of her head.
Maybe even the dog.
So that's the good news. You've got cats in your favor. But this is really tough, and this is what often happens when you break no contact. To be honest, her ex was at least nice enough to reply and say how much he cared, which many of you won't even get that.
Yeah. And to me, it's sad that the story she's telling herself here is that the relationship wasn't worth fighting for, that he didn't really love her. You know, breakups are complicated. We have so many videos talking about how complicated breakups can be. And I know we don't know the full story here, but I'm curious as to how that matches up with what she was saying there in the end, where healing has to come from herself. You know, I'm wondering just how her experience was of the relationship, what messages she ended up getting out of it, and how that's impacting her own self-esteem or the way she views relationships in general.
Yeah. If you're trying to reattract somebody, the strongest thing, the most confident thing you could do is leave them alone. He ended the relationship. He needs to see what life is going to be like without her. Is having that career or job worth losing the person that you love? Many times it isn't what it's cracked up to be, and people learn that the hard way. But you have to let them figure it out on their own.
Exactly. And, you know, healing comes from within. I think that's the message here, and that's what's important. I find a lot of people go into this fantasy mode when they are breaking no contact and dreaming about how their ex might respond.
Yes.
As if their ex is going to respond with, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to hear from you. I missed you. I'm on a flight there right now."
Guys, if it worked, we tell you to do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're not telling you to do these, you know, no contact and not do those things because we just like the sound of it. It's because we see what's effective and we know what works. So
yeah,
it's normal to fantasize and have those reunion fantasies of, oh, if I fly to London and show up at her door, she's going to want me back. No, she's probably going to call the police, unfortunately.
And you're talking to 2 people who have made this mistake before, too.
Well, I didn't fly to London, but a good friend of ours did. Do you remember?
I think you told me about this.
Yeah, a long time ago. It happened to a good friend of mine. It turns out there was another guy.
I was thinking about the train story.
Oh, yeah.
When I was in Norway.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so these situations, they do happen, and people do have that tendency to fantasize because you miss that person. You want things to work out. You kind of have that, like, careless hope of this could happen. And sometimes it does. Sometimes, you know, people will say, "Oh, I've been thinking about you this whole time," but most of the time, it really has to come from them. They have to be the ones to initiate. They have to be willing to reconsider and reopen that relationship or that door.
And that is when you're going to hear them vomit their feelings to you, right? But do the work in the meantime. If you don't, you're going to regret it. I promise you, when you get in front of your ex again, it is going to be so much more challenging than you realize. And they are going to say and do things that surprise you, that sometimes they're good, but sometimes it's like, and then it triggers you and you're like, but why don't we have another chance if you're saying all these things that are so good?
Yeah.
So trust me, you got to get emotionally centered.
And we try to convince ourselves a lot. We try to say, well, you know, if we reach out, then they're going to say this or they're going to say that. Ask yourself, what are you really hoping to get out of this? And what happens if you don't get the response that you desire? How will that affect you truly? And I know sometimes we can get into that careless, it's almost like a gambling state of, well, I don't care, I just want to find out.
I don't care what happens. And then it happens.
Then
you're like,
down
no, why did I do
$5,000
it?
and you're like, wait a minute, how did this happen? Right? So really think ahead, protect your heart, protect your heart, protect your heart.
Yep. All right, so hopefully this one's been helpful to you. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do Zoom coaching and I do email coaching. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom coaching.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name on the top of the website to schedule with her. That's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.